Hi, my name is Alondra, and today I'll be discussing with you anti-oppressive practice through my Solidarity Individual Research Project. What is the anti-oppressive practice? Anti-oppressive practice is an interdisciplinary approach primarily rooted within the practice of social work that focuses on ending socio-economic oppression. It requires the practitioner to critically examine the power imbalance inherited in the organizational structure with regards to the larger socioculture and political content in order to develop strategies for creating a supporting environment for free from the oppression, racism, and other forms of discrimination in the larger society by engaging at the legal and political levels. In general, community practice it is responding to oppression by dominant groups and individuals. In social services, it regulates any possible oppressive practices and helps in delivering welfare services in inclusive manners. Anti-oppressive principles are as follows. Social difference. Social differences arise because of disparities between power of the dominant and dominant social groups, linking personal and political. Personal bibliographies are placed within a wider social context, and the individual's life situation is viewed in relation to the social systems such as family, peers, organization, community. For an example, problems may arise or may be associated with an age not solely intended or due to the individual policies and practices and morals. Power. Power is a social concept in which is used to explore the public and private shares of life through personal and structural levels. Historical and geographic locations. Basically, with historical and geographic locations, an individual's life experience or events are placed within a specific time or place, given the context prevailing around the social facts and cultural differences. Last but not least, we have reflexivity and mutual involvement. Reflexivity is the continual consideration of how values and social differences of power affect interactions between individuals. So, how does this theory of anti oppressive um, practices fit in with the solidarity approach of modeling equality? It fits in with three simple things: shared responsibility. As a social worker, um, and as I was reading through these articles, the one thing that they did make sure to mention was responsibility for helping individuals or families and groups to cope with the problem that they may be facing in one's life. It's very imperative that you help the individual because at the end of the day, you're responsible for helping navigate them through their own plan. So that leads me to my next point. We work together. In social work, we work together to understand the divine will and common goals of that person or whomever is facing these pressing times. Justice and equality, making sure all races are treated equally, fairly. Over the years, as you've seen through the social outlets and media, a lot of Black people are treated unjust. They're not treated fairly compared to someone else who may be pulled over, for an example. Um, they might be letting off with a ticket. However, as you've seen across the nation, a lot of people have been getting killed by police brutality. So, and one race is going home free, and another race is being buried 6 feet under. How does this impact the helper, meaning the caregiver? Through mental health, moral dilemma, and accidental oppressing. Remember the state of well being for yourself. It's very important when you're trying to help a client identify or cope with their own inabilities to make it through their oppression. You can work productively and together to clear your mind. Moral dilemmas. As social workers, we face many challenges of moral dilemmas because of self imposed, obligational dilemmas, or multiple person dilemmas. Accidental oppressing. Remember not to oppress the oppressor who is seeking help from you to get over their oppression. As a social worker, we may not often be mindful of their feelings or how they want to go about their own life. So we oppose on them how we feel is necessary for them to get through the next step, and instead of them figuring out on their own. In my research, I ran across the story of Amelia, who's a young black unemployed female who was living in poverty, who was a single parent, who was suffering from domestic violence. Um, Anti-oppressive practices are in place to help you better understand her, better understand her situation, and ultimately, age, race, gender, and social class all jolted how her life was impacted. These are a list of my references. I hope that you guys have enjoyed my PowerPoint/video for the individual research project.